Me go for it.
Got it.
Mhm.
Perfect. All right. I'm going to switch screen here and I will turn it back on to Cassandra.
Sure. So the role of our committee members is basically we want you to add your added value to the Community Foundation's work. And obviously you're providing your expertise and any suggestions that you have, just a different lens for us. So we love the fact that this committee is made of everyone from every committee. Even though some of you are saying Miami, you do live in Broward, so the decisions that you make will affect Broward County residents. So we're happy to have any of your suggestions. And obviously you bring unique input, creativity, even those that are retired or think they're retired. We appreciate your creativity and innovation and the resources that you'll bring, because the work that you're doing will guide some of the foundation's support and the partners that we choose to work with. Now, here's the deal. You can't back out now because you're already on this call. So you have to participate in this. So you've already done it. So the orientation session, and then the reviewing. You'll review and score about 4 to 8 proposals through the online portal. And I think that's probably the most we'll give you. The 8 is probably the max that we have. Participate in Zoom interviews. These are just some of the things that we're expecting, because obviously you were instrumental in reviewing the grants. So we want to make sure you participate in the interviews with the different organizations that bubble to the top. So those finalists, and then you'll be able to ask questions based on your understanding of their application. And of course, we want to be sensitive to how the questions are asked. A lot of us are very familiar with each other, especially in social service communities. So we want to be real sensitive to some of the questions. And if at any point you do see a conflict of interest, you must disclose that from the beginning. Some of you have applied with us in the past, and if you're currently applying now, obviously this will not be a grant that you will review. So that is very important. And then lastly, confidential review process. We want to keep it confidential until the projects are selected, but not only selected, it needs to be approved by our board. And we'll definitely share with you the board dates and of course the outcomes. So whatever happens after the review, it stays between us. So we don't have a cone of silence, but we have like a soft do not speak about it until the board meeting.
Right. And the board meeting won't happen until the end of January 2024. So this is a long cone of silence, if you will.
Mm-hmm. All right. So these are some of the important dates that we're looking at. So obviously today we are doing this orientation, which means we'll open the portal starting today for your reviewing purposes. You'll look at the grants. You'll have time. You have up until November 16th to look at these applications. So take your time. Don't take too much time, but take your time. You can print it out and go through it as you choose. And then these are the dates that we have settled on for the interviews. So education and youth enrichment will go first, November 28th. And we made sure these are all after you're nicely fed for Thanksgiving. You'll come back and do these Zoom interviews. And then social and economic mobility is November 30th. Healthy and thriving communities, same day, different time. And arts and culture is December the 1st. And at any point, if you cannot make the interviews, just let us know, and you'll be able to put questions in the grant portal anyway. So Angelica and myself will be able to ask some of your questions if you can't make it, but it's so imperative that you do, because it makes sense to match exactly, the people that reviewed it also with the people that do the interviews. And you get a better understanding sometimes compared to individuals that have grant writers or they wrote it themselves versus and instead of when they speak to you about their actual programs, it makes it come to life. So we like for you to have both sides. I can't see if there's any questions, but at any point you can definitely raise your hand. Oh, we're starting. Okay. So social and economic mobility, those that fall under this bucket, thank you. So basically, this bucket is to empower hardworking residents, right? So we want to move them to financial stability. A lot of these individuals are stuck in between, and we want to move them up and break the cycle of poverty. So under this bucket area, we do have 3 opportunities for grant funding. And the first opportunity is talent pipeline. So what we want to do is basically build a stronger pipeline of diverse talent and basically fuel the local economic growth in Broward County. So these include individuals will probably write in applications to reduce skills gap, meet demands of workforce talent, workforce training, anything from those you'll see. So some of those applications, individuals can apply for continuing education or maybe going into the trades. We're looking at individuals that want to be electricians or anything like that. So anything that will help mobilize the talent pipeline and work with our workforce and increase that, you'll see those applications under those. And then removal of barriers, it's a pretty big one. It's basically systemic barriers, right? We're trying to remove those. So we want to enhance economic opportunities and outcomes. What we'll find a lot under these is opportunities for transportation. We want to remove barriers, childcare, so people can, I don't like saying attainable housing because it doesn't happen in Broward County, but help them out in the high housing area, and technology for any upward mobility and self-sufficiency. So a lot of times in these, you'll see assistance with various areas of, financial strains. So we want to remove those barriers. So you'll probably see some applications that have to do with that. And then future financial success, we're looking at individuals that are looking for funding to improve financial literacy for our community, helping them increase savings, maybe foster investments. This is also an area that we've just kind of revised. Entrepreneurship opportunities also falls under future financial success. So you'll see applications reflecting those. Any questions?
I have a question. Just out of curiosity, so the people applied for these grants, these are individuals, or are these coming from organizations that are working on programs to help individuals?
No, we only work with organizations.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Thank you.
Sure. All right, so next up, I want to say healthy. Okay, good. Looks like I'm going to go to Angelica and then come back to me, but I guess not. All right, we aim for healthy and thriving communities to improve health equity and well-being across Broward County. And this umbrella also holds our food and nutrition and environmental. So we're looking at resilience and sustainability as well. So under physical and physical health, what we usually find is this focus area has high traffic. A lot of organizations apply to it. So thank you, those that will be serving on Healthy and Thriving. Appreciate you. Physical health will usually get applications that have to do with promoting good health outcomes. We do it for all ages. So this is a little different from some of Angelica's bucket because age is not a criteria for applying under health. They're providing structured physical activities, things that are easily accessible for residents. So we want them to be able to address chronic diseases and prevention and intervention. A lot of these are addressing social determinants of health as well. So you'll see those applications. They're reducing health disparities, promoting health literacy and health equity. So you'll find that under physical health. Mental, excuse me, we usually have we want to see people reducing the stigma regarding mental health and normalizing health and self-care. So some of those applications will reflect that. Increase access to mental health and services in low-income communities in Broward County, and provide innovative outlets and resources to continue getting mental health support. So you'll find that under this umbrella. Food and nutrition. We want to see applications that can reduce household food insecurity and hunger. We want to see them promoting healthy eating habits for our residents and being able to give them the ability to take charge of their health when it comes to food and nutrition, build longer capacity for communities to increase fresher and more nutritious food supplies. And then environmental education and sustainability. That one will find applications that are promoting environmental health programs and interventions. reduce the amount of toxic pollutants released into the environment. We've seen applications where they're helping to support habitat protection, coastal resilience, water quality, changing, energy efficiency, environmental outreach. That's a lot of times the applications will be environmental outreach, specifically with the youth. So they do a lot of beach cleanups. And then, of course, raise awareness about climate change and encouraging action to make our communities more resilient. So these are all the things that'll fall under healthy and thriving communities. You're good, Angelica? Next.
Yep, I'm
Okay.
good. Thank you,
Any
Cassandra.
questions? No problem. I don't see you, but if you have any questions, okay, now I see you. Let me know. All right, take it away.
I see none, but that doesn't mean we can't go back in case something pops in later. Thank you, Cassandra. And so like I said, I'm covering the education and youth enrichment and art and culture. And so for education and youth enrichment, there will be 6 applications to be reviewed. And what you guys are helping us review is finding those next wonderful projects that will help our youth. It's only youth focused. We'll not see any adults being part of this category. It's strictly for our young ones, and to help them gain those critical skills that they need to be successful in life, right? And so they are divided into 3 different subcategories, and this goes for all applications that you can address one of the subcategories, 2 or all of them if you want to. But so for example, exposure to new opportunities. The majority of the applications that you review under education youth enrichment will be for exposure to new opportunities. It is for things for our young people to do that might be something outside of their normal neighborhood community, something they don't have been have the opportunity to participate in. It could be anything from, let's say, college tours, to learning about marine biology by going to either the ocean, or learning more about the environment, going out to the Everglades. It could be learning more about the different vocational opportunities that are available should college not be what you want to do after high school graduation, right? It's just presenting them with opportunities to have that spark plug, to have an opportunity to pursue something after high school that will make them successful, right? So that's where the majority of the applications you're going to review under this focus area will be. We have 1 or 2 that are just addressing K through 12 academic achievement, and that is exactly that. It is to help our young one to get over what everybody referred to as the COVID slide or the summer slide. We want to make sure that the kids that are struggling in school have the opportunities and tools needed to be successful. So it could be an after-school tutoring program, something to help them bring up their grades and making sure that they can pass whatever the standardized test is going to be, or whatever they're going to change it towards, so that they can then be able to graduate high school well after they reach 12th grade, right? And then the last one that we have under education and youth enrichment is work-based learning. And actually, it's a requirement now in the state of Florida that every single high schooler should have a work-based learning opportunity throughout their high school career. So the applications that we have that are talking about work-based learning are mostly for high schoolers. And it's an opportunity to have kids have hands-on learning experiences. It could be for them to have, let's say, a paid internship. It could be a summer job, or it could be some type of job coaching type program that will help them learn these life and soft skills that our employers are saying that they so desperately need, because they don't know, many teenagers don't know how to be punctual, how to carry a conversation, how to not just be on their phone. And there's a reason why seniors are coming out of retirement to work at Publix versus the young people, because they're reliable and dependable, and they have these skills that our young people so desperately need, right? So that's why this is so important. And so these are the different opportunities that we can help our young folks here in Broward. Do we have any questions for education and youth enrichment?
I don't see any hands.
Perfect. All right. Well, again, if something pops to mind at a later time, that is totally fine. We can always address those later. So next up then is art and culture. Art and culture is a little bit lighter than education, youth enrichment this time. We're going to have 4 applications for you to review. And it's an opportunity for us to have more arts and cultural experiences available. We want to make sure that every resident in Broward has an opportunity to experience the arts. That is essentially what we're trying to achieve with art and culture. We want to celebrate our rich history, our diversity. We want to make sure that there are all different types of opportunities for everybody to experience it. And we do it through different subcategories. There's 4 that you can apply for. The last one that you see there on your screen for individual artists is not something that you can apply for through the Community Foundation of Broward. We support individual artists through a partnership with Broward Cultural Division. And so if you know an artist that might be interested, they have to go to the Cultural Division's website to apply for the Artist and Innovations Grant Program. But for the applications that we're reviewing today, or for the fall cycle, we can either have some applications under art education. Art education is for young or old. It doesn't matter what age limit, and none of them do for art and culture. We just want to make sure that it's accessible to all residents, and an opportunity to specifically use literacy to help enhance your education parts, using arts as a tool, and maybe also spark an opportunity for a future career working in the arts. Art therapy is very straightforward. It's to use art as a form of therapy to help you if you are grieving, you're going through some tough times. There's an opportunity to use it to just kind of have a safe space for dialogue and things. So it's very broad, but it's supposed to be therapeutic in nature for the participants of that program. Cultural assets. So you're going to see quite a few of cultural assets applications, and the cultural assets is unique because we have so many wonderful arts institutions or museums or libraries or what have you. And this is an opportunity for them to apply under cultural assets to essentially be able to get ongoing support to help them with operations for, let's say a 12-month period. Or if they wanted to explore something new that they wanted to try out, or expand on something that they might currently have ongoing. Sometimes we like to say that it's kind of like general operating support, but it is, to help sustain arts organizations because they've struggled tremendously in light of COVID, right? So we want to make sure that they are on a good footing and that they're able to produce wonderful programs, do more, and be able to retain their staff and be just as impactful as the Broward cultural community needs it to be, right? And then the last one, it is for specific projects, right? Traditional arts. It could be for projects that want to paint a mural somewhere, to do something with a public art installation, to put on a play, to have a musical concert, things like that. Anything of type of traditional arts that they want to put on where residents or participants can come, listen, see, enjoy, and gather together. That is essentially what that is. Do we have any questions about art and culture? No, you are a good group. You're going to do so awesome. All right, well, if I don't hear any questions, then let's go down into business here, and Tina's going to take it away and tell you how you can access your applications and what to do with them.
All right, so that was a lot of information. So before we go through, I am attaching our grant guide and all of the information that Angelica and Cassandra just went over. You can find those details in that guide on page 6, starting on page 6 and going through to page 10. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in. We're also going to do a live demo, so if I go through this pretty quickly, just know that we'll go through a live demo as well. So here is our homepage. On this page, you will do one of two things. If you already have the application on file, I know a lot of us on here already have gone into this portal. You're going to use those credentials to get in. So you're going to use your regular credentials to get into the portal. If this is your first time going through this process with us and you're brand new, you're going to get a temporary password, and it's going to prompt you to change your password immediately. That password is going to be the same for everyone. It's a capital P, A, S, capital P. There we go. This is in the chat. Thank you very much. And then it will prompt you to update your password. And then next slide. So once you get on your dashboard, this is kind of what you're going to see. If all of it's going to say start, and basically if it says start, that means you haven't gone into the portal yet. But once you click start, there are a couple of different statuses that will be in there, and it's on the next slide. So you'll have pending status. Pending means that you have not started it yet. Draft means that you have started it and you just need to go in and complete it. If the status says complete, that means you've done everything. One tidbit I do want to mention is that you'll know if your application was submitted if it says complete. And although the system will automatically save your answers, once you're completely done with it, you do have to hit save at the bottom. And I will show you that when we go ahead and do the demo. And if it says close, that means the application portal has closed out, but you still can view your responses for that evaluation. All right, so I'm going to go over all of this on the live demo. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Or if I can, yeah.
All right, you should be good to share. I'll stop sharing.
All righty. So everybody see our homepage here? So in addition to the link that Angelica or Cassandra just popped into the chat, you can get there from our homepage as well. What you're going to want to do is navigate up here where it says log in. You're going to drop down to nonprofits, and then you'll be in your portal area. If you lose that link for the grant guide, you can also find it here on this homepage under download. Again, if this is your first time ever going into our portal, the password will be your username will be your email, and your password will be the temporary password that was put into the chat. From there, it will ask you to re-log in. So I'm going to go ahead and log in now. This is not the view that you all will have. But from here, I do want to mention, again, for some of you all who also have an application in our system, you're going to see that the dashboard that you get is going to be your applicant dashboard. What you're going to want to do is come up here at the top where it says roles and drop down to committee member. Then that will show you all of the applications that you have assigned to you. So as you can see here, I have 20 pending and 1 in draft. Something I want to call out up here, you can switch between the statuses. If you do have a lot of applications, you kind of just want to filter down. Let's say I want to just filter down to the one that I have in draft, or I want to look at all my pending. If you want to get out of either status and see all of the information again, you just have to hit that whatever status you were currently on. All right, so something I want to call out also before we get into the actual evaluation form is up here we have our shared document. And once it does, there we go. We have the grant guide again here. We have it everywhere, and then you also have the focus area rubric. I'm just gonna download.
Tina, really quick, can you go back to where you found show the steps to where you access the grant guide again, please?
So I'm gonna go home. So right up here next to that home button, you have shared documents. Okay. And when you click on that, you have your grant guide again there, and then you also have the focus area. Now, let me know if you can see this on my screen. It's a Word document. Perfect. So in here, you will review applications. It gives you the criteria for all of them. This first rubric is going to be for social economic mobility, education, youth enrichment, and healthy and thriving communities, non-environmental applications. So you'll use this rubric for that. And then the second rubric is going to be the environmental rubric. And the third one is going to be the art and culture rubric. So each of those 3 rubrics kind of have different wording based off of the applications, or the nature of the applications. For environmental and art and culture, that's kind of why they have separate ones. But again, social economic mobility, education, youth enrichment, and healthy and thriving will all use the same first rubric. All right, so let's pop back into our home where we have all our applications. And I am going to drop down to an application. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Take a look. So from this page, you will be able to score your applications. Everything on this side are questions that are coming from the application. Okay, and then on this side are your are going to be the evaluation questions that you're going to do. Some features on here that can be helpful for you depending on how you like to flow when you read your applications. You can download the evaluation packet. Let's say you just want to write it out first and do everything on paper. You could download the evaluation packet, and then you can also download the application packet. So you have those side by side. Something to note on the application packet, because we do ask them for like their audit information and stuff, and that can be a long printout. So I think it's usually around page 10 or 12, Angelica, Cassandra, where that's the actual application. And then after that is all of their supporting documents. So you might want to just do the print field from 1 to whatever that end amount is. And then we also have the document viewer. So this is where you can go in and just view the documents. You'll be able to view their budget. And I believe that's the only one they're asking for this time around. So their budget will be in there. You can make it a little bigger if you need to, so on and so forth. All right, so now we're going to go to the actual application. Before you even see any of these things down here, it's going to ask you for that conflict of interest information. If you do have a conflict, like Cassandra mentioned, go ahead and select I have a conflict and reach out to the director who is over that particular focus area, and then you will save your answer. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and go through. And these are the general scoring numbers. So the first one that you're going to see is asking about the organization overall. So the first couple of fields on the application are like the mission statement, the organization summary, the milestones. And based off of what we are looking for from our grant guide, you're going to kind of see if it's aligned with what our mission is and what our vision is for these 4 focus areas. You're going to give that an overall score. So just the organization's overall score. And then we're going to drop down into the meat and potatoes where it says project overview. And one other feature I do want to show here is that you can make either side bigger. So let's say you want your evaluations to be a little bit smaller because it's easier for you to read and you want to see the application better. There's this middle line right in the middle, and you can scroll that back and forth however you need. Any questions so far? Great.
Tina, tell them that they can flip the your evaluation and the view application too. Please.
I was going to say that.
So if you prefer to have your evaluations on the other side of the screen, you can also flip it with this little 2-way arrow right here. Okay, I'm actually going to keep it in that view because I like it like that. And I'm going to scroll this over some. So the next sections you're going to be doing, section D is the project overview, and this is where you're going to get the meat and potatoes of what they're trying to do. You have the statement of need, specific population, so on and so forth. I do want to mention that some of these, like I'll start here, we have statement of need. You'll see that that has a direct correlation to an area that you're scoring, but then you also have some areas like specific population and stuff that you're not scoring, but you're going to use that information still to make your decision. For example, let's say we had a education youth enrichment project, and the special project, we know that there's specific schools, let's say Title I schools that need this service, but this particular one, this project is serving the wealthy of schools, right? And we know it could be better served in other areas. So we want to kind of look at what these populations that are being served and kind of think about your decision based off of that too when it comes to like statement of need. Is the population who has it the one that actually needs it? Moving forward, we have the budget information. Again, when you go to document viewer, you'll be able to download that budget and kind of make sure that the narrative matches what is being proposed in the project. So those are kind of some things you want to think about when you're going through scoring. And then you will score their evaluation, their plan of action, and all of those types of things. And then at the very end of the application, it's going to ask you, what is your overall impression of the application? You'll choose whatever you see fit. I do also want to call out these comment sections. So they're question and comment sections. These are very important for us specifically, because when the interview process happens, we do give the applicant a little bit of a heads up on what's going to be asked. So the more questions that you can give us in these fields, we can feed that to them so that the interview process can be worthwhile, and we know they know exactly what we're going to be asking of them. All right. So after you've click all of these things, you're gonna hit save. This is not gonna let me hit save that thing. Oh, yes, it is. So after you do all of your stuff, it'll tell you what portions that you're missing. But after you do all of your scoring, you're gonna want to hit save, because that's the only way it's gonna register in the system that it was actually completed. And if you don't, you'll get emails from the director saying you need to hurry up and finish your applications if it's coming up on that deadline. So from here, you can go back to your dashboard or go to your next pending evaluation. And to get back to your home screen, you'll just click up here on the home and get back where we started. And I believe that is everything.
That sounds pretty straightforward to everyone?
No
I
question.
had a question. Are you able to, once you save a score, is it editable, or is that's
Yeah.
like the final? Okay, great.
You know,
Great.
You can edit it, and then you'll also, right here is where you'll see your scores show up in this little
Okay,
column under scores.
awesome.
Yeah.
Tina, can I just add one thing? I'm sure you said in the beginning, we've already vetted these organizations, so we've looked up their information already. So on the budget side, you're looking at exactly just what they're asking for the foundation support. We're not looking at their overall budget for the organization, okay?
Oh, okay. That was the question I was going to ask. Are we digesting their overall organizational budget? Are we digesting their 990s? You know, I was going to ask those questions.
We
No.
digested for you.
Yes.
Okay.
And to that point too, Ryan, we want to make sure that you focus on like the content, the impact that a potential application will have. If they didn't spell a word correctly, we don't take any points off for that kind of stuff. We know that happens. Not everybody has a professional grant writer, or they might not write the most eloquent way. And that's why we do the interviews, so that sometimes the words can come to life when you hear it from them versus reading it on the page. Because it is okay for them to tell us verbally also what it is that they're trying to achieve if it wasn't on the paper, right? So we just want to make sure that we can holistically look at an application and make sure that this is something that is worthwhile and we want to support.
Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions? Did you guys log in while we were chit-chatting and see if you could get in, or?
My team may not be able to log in yet, not everybody. But don't worry, you will, Brenda, because I think it's you.
What I can share is education and youth enrichment and art and culture. You guys should be good to go. The applications have been assigned to you, and if you have any login issues, just let me know. Those applications are live, and for Cassandra's as well, they will be live until November 16th. I see a hand raised.
That would be me. So it's
Go
Ralph.
ahead.
Can you just go through one more time how to get in?
Sure, Tina, do you want to do that? Show them the website, or you got the link too that we put in the chat, right? The direct link, or no?
Let me go to the chat. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, but you can also go to our website.
Okay, so perfect. Okay, so I can go to the website and get there. Okay.
Yeah, so look, she's showing you right there, and then you click on
Log
the
in.
login.
Nonprofits. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and if it's not working with your temporary password, just do forget password, and that should solve it. But if it doesn't, you know, we'll give it another try.
Okay.
Let's see
Appreciate
here.
it.
You have another hand, Deetra.
Go ahead. You're on mute.
Yes, the applications, are they going to be viewed by more than one of us? Or do we just each have a particular application?
No, so all of the folks that are doing education and youth enrichment all review all education and youth enrichment
Okay.
applications. Right.
Okay. I wanted to-
So I believe we actually have 5 participants for both education, youth enrichment, and art and culture, and everybody, 5 reviewers. But there will be 6 applications to be reviewed for all those 5 people. And for art and culture, there is 4 applications at this point, and so the 5 committee members will review 4 applications, and they're all the same. I'm not quite sure how the other 2 are looking for you, Cassandra.
Thank you.
So healthy and thriving, you will have more than social and economic mobility. That's all I'll say, because I don't want you guys to run off this call.
Okay. Well, we got 15 minutes to spare, y'all. What do you want to talk about?
Any other questions?
I do want to mention something. Some applications came through during our transition from our last fiscal year to this fiscal year, and the application questions look different. So just take note. I believe Healthy and
There's
Thriving had
there's
one.
2 under education and youth enrichment, 0 under art and culture.
So you'll still see those rubrics from last time, and you can compare the information using that rubric. But just note that if you see something that looks a little bit different, even when it says it right here, it'll say like focus area 22, 23. Just know that they have a different rubric and a different setup, but it's pretty much generally all the same content being asked of the applicant.
And I only had 1, and it's under social and economic.
Yeah, very good point. And as we've shared, if you have a question, we're just a phone call or an email away. We're happy to help. There is no silly questions. We'd rather take the question than not. But we do appreciate the time that you're spending on reviewing these applications. Like we said, we would like for you to have the review complete by November 16th. So that is about what, 3 weeks or so? Almost a month. So I think that is enough time. But if you're struggling towards that crunch time, let us know ahead of time so that we know where you guys are at. We will also push out messages through the portal to let you know that hey, listen, it's time to take a look if you have snoozed that reminder for a couple of days. Just to make sure that we all kind of can get it together and get it done by November 16th. And then we're hoping to see you all again when we come down to the interviews right after Thanksgiving.
Angelica, also, if any of you are in the area and you rather us just print it out for you, I'll be happy to do that. I know some of you work remote. So if you're having any issues, we can go ahead and print it and give you a hard copy if you'd like instead.
Yeah, but we would prefer to save the trees, but if not.
Especially under environment, we prefer. But I know some people like paper.
Yes,
so.
Totally get it. Okay, well, we can give you back, 12, 13 minutes of your day to go do some other important stuff, unless you have any final questions. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, that was very
Thank you so
informative.
much.
Thank you
Yeah.
all. This is really good. Really looking forward to
All right.
doing this. All right.
Wonderful. All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful week and day, and we will see you on the Zoom interviews.
Angelica, if you could stop recording real
I
quick.
can't. Whoever started it has to stop it.
I'm stopping.